Hey everybody, it's 1 o'clock. How you guys doing? We're gonna
It's
do
it's
it
one
was supposed to be
o'clock.
just me. It was supposed to just be me, but Maciej and I decided to do this together. We're probably gonna do a lot more of these together, actually. So yeah, get ready for it. There'd
Dude,
be a lot of
are you
silliness.
guys ready?
Oh gosh.
Boom!
Oh, Maciej, there's people at work. There's family. This is a family stream,
Oh
Maciej.
Dude,
no, he did it.
there is no dick,
He did
so
it.
I don't know about
Uh,
that. There's
well,
literally nothing there. It's just emptiness.
oh, come
I
on, just
think it's
give me the
super safe
backside,
for
buddy.
work. It's
Is it?
super
I don't
safe
think
for
so,
work.
dude.
I believe it
We don't work in
is.
an office.
Oh man, I'm working, yo. I was not
Yeah.
ready for that.
Hey Nino, what's up, Nino? What's up, buddy? Yeah, nobody's ready for that one. Minimize your screen. Okay, Mache is done being a toddler.
All right, I'll open
Today
Photoshop.
I
Okay.
had a no, I had a question about the you were gonna show me how you do that merging from like the pose to marvelous, then to apply a material to the actual character. Do you know what I mean?
You want
Do
me
you know
to
what
do
I
that?
mean?
Do you really want me to? Yeah, I can totally do that. So
Like if you
I
do a
don't know
quick
about
pose.
I don't know about materials, but all right. So we have I loaded up. Yeah, we can do that. I mean, this is gonna be quite a random start, isn't it? But that's
I think
fine.
so. Okay.
Um, but that's a pressing question. Actually, it's a question that's been asked by um, some students of futuristic character design as well. And I was covering that in my lesson, but that was already like 6 months ago or even a year. And things have changed. There's few updates that came along with DAS 3D and Marvel's Designer and whatnot. So there's definitely a few things that have been improved, and I figured out the way that make it work on those characters. So I believe it's Michael 6 character, and so
It's your dolly,
basically
dude. Digital dolly.
yeah, when you load it, it's in T pose, so you can load any other character, and it's gonna be in T pose. Like you can load that guy.
Load Diz, whatever that one, that guy.
Right
Oh snap! That's actually perfect. That's real art right there.
there you go. Yeah, I mean you can hide. That's the number two, Genesis 2. Let me load
Oh, okay.
Genesis 3.
Yeah, Genesis 3 is much better. Oh, somebody's doing jujitsu. That's awesome. Somebody's in the chat. Good for you. I had jujitsu last night. Man, we were doing this crazy back take to spiderweb flip. It was really interesting last night. It was cool. Super highly technical. All right, dude.
Been there.
Damn.
All right, we have Genesis 3
John, come
character
over
right
and
here.
I'll show you all about jujitsu. You should come.
Yeah,
This is
man.
great. Oh my god.
I'm just gonna delete Michael 6.
Oh
All
no.
right, so we have Genesis 3
Dude,
character
looks
here.
like me in the morning, dude. Looks like me in the morning.
And all right, so
My
we have him
genitals go
here.
inverted.
We have him in T pose. What I want to do is I want to make sure I'm on 0, making a little keyframe. So you basically press that button right here. You see that little keyframe button, the one with the plus. It's like a little key sign with a plus. Basically, just creates a keyframe. Then you go all the way out there. All right, I'm gonna zoom out. Spare you that one. And I'm gonna use one of the poses that I have here. Whatever.
Did you buy these poses off of
Yeah,
the?
some of them are bought.
Oh hell
What
yeah, that's
about
me.
that
That's
one?
definitely me when I sleep. Dude, you look so. Dude, that John after the party, he's like, I'm done. And that's John like midway through the party, like, let me alone.
He's-
Dude,
Yeah,
no,
I
that
just
one. Get the one where he's like, oh, dude, these are sick, man. I love these. Where did you get these ones? Off
I
of
don't
Dad's
remember.
website?
Yeah, I think it's Daz's website. Let's just make something that makes sense, like maybe some kind of standing. Look at that fucking pose, though.
Dude, he looks so ripped too. He literally has no muscle tone.
That's me on our meeting.
That is you. You're doing the sexy pose. Oh, those are the standard poses, huh? I have those. Those
How
suck.
about that one?
Oh my
A little bit,
god.
a little bit of Van Damme. Right.
Wow,
This is really
John
silly.
Connor. Damn. Daz is
People,
great, man.
people who are watching us gonna hate us for this
No, it's
shit.
okay. This is part of making art.
Yeah.
Literally, if you guys only knew, this is how it is. We're just joking around and making art. So,
Yeah.
yeah, and I'm sure it's the same for a lot of people too.
I think this one works,
Don't
right?
judge us.
So
Yeah.
basically, now you have like once you go to the last frame and add a pose, it's gonna
Okay.
automatically create a keyframe, which means
Mhm.
that now when you slide along the timeline,
Oh,
it's like
okay.
an animation, right?
So you
So
start off with the keyframe, and then you move the slider all the way to the end, then set the pose, and then it'll create a keyframe of that.
right, I'm gonna
Okay,
make him.
cool.
I'm gonna make him ripped, dude.
Yeah, make him yo. Hell yeah, dude. That's definitely
Gonna be
me.
yoked and fat, dude.
Uh, the fat yoke.
Uh,
That's awesome.
it's just
Give him just like a really giant booty. Sometimes I do that.
giant booty.
Yeah,
I
just
don't think
blow
you
up
can
the
do
booty.
that. I don't
You gotta
think
get
there's an option for that.
gotta get the booty control.
Booty.
Just
Either way, all right. So we have a
called the
character.
JLo plugin.
We have him, posed. Next thing we do is go to export, and
Mhm.
you're gonna export in Collada.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, Mark, did Mark
Save.
tell you about that? Mark Chang?
Yeah, I think he mentioned that, but I was, experimenting with this as well. Individual settings, right here. You want to go and save animations, including
Okay.
transformations and morphs, so that any morphs you're doing are actually translated to the actual model in the file. Because otherwise, it's gonna use the default character. Like if you decide to do any morphs, like make him ripped or whatever the fuck, and so it's basically going to not include that unless you add those here.
Okay.
And then collect maps, right? That's by default. And then you press accept, and it's done, dude. It's gonna fucking spend a little while on exporting it, and once it's
Yeah, because
ready,
it's doing the whole sequence, right?
yeah, once it's ready, we can go here.
Oh, damn.
I already have it
Got the
set up.
ladies. We're keeping this even.
Yeah.
PC please can't get mad at us.
Let me check if let me do something real quick. I'm gonna do that little screen flip right here. I want to make sure that when I'm importing Collada, I'm not exposing any work.
You guys want to take some questions as we go along?
Yeah.
Yeah, we should, because there's some good relevant ones that are pertaining to what Maciej is doing right now.
Yeah.
Alright.
This one says, well, because it's relative, it says, can you keyframe few poses so they blend smoothly, or does it work only with T-pose?
Yeah, you can. Let me just load this character real quick. So, I found out when I was importing the Collada file that for whatever reason the scale is off. So I had to use
Yeah.
a custom scale of 100%. Because when I
Okay.
used the DAZ,
It's like super small, right?
yeah, it became like a fucking tiny character.
Like a Honey I Shrunk the
Yeah,
Kids
there we
size.
go. So we have a character right
Aw,
here, right? It's
sexy.
loaded. Now you go instead of simulation, you switch to animation, and it should have the animation when you play it. And you
Oh
can
damn,
loop
he
it.
looks good. Not gonna lie, he looks good.
Look at those quads, dude. Those quads. Fuck.
Oh, you know what we should talk about sometime too? We should try and do the walking poses and all that stuff, simulations, you know?
Yeah. I'll
That'd
show
be-
you how to do that here. But
Okay.
someone asked if you can make
Yeah.
different animations there. Yeah, you can. So basically, let's say somewhere in between, we want to have them in that sexy, pose.
Yeah. Do
like
the
right
Van
here.
Damme. Yeah.
So basically, what's gonna do it's just gonna blend it in between.
Whoa. Chapa. That's me at yoga. It's me at yoga class. Damn, that's me right now. That's how I look when I'm on the computer with that pose. That's cool. So you can just kind of place it. Are you just putting a bunch of them in there?
Yeah.
It's just actively changing on the keyframe. That's cool.
So every 5 frames, we can add a pose.
Oh, you can set
for
a new
instance.
pose?
Yeah.
Does it have to be every 5 frames, or
No,
can you
we can
change?
set up whatever. So now if
sick.
we loop, if we play it,
bam, bam, wow. Daz will give you everything that you really don't want, but it's funny. Give him like really huge
That's
feet.
funny.
Like make him a huge head. That's what I always love to do. Like you
Oh
take
yes, you
the
can
size
do
of the
that.
head and make the head super huge.
Absolutely, you can do
Just
that.
grab the head. Yeah, there you go. Yeah. And then make him do all those moves. Yes. Oh, this is good.
And that's art.
We could sell this for $1 million like
Yeah.
Artistic.
H3 that guy. Oh, this is so good. Yeah.
Thanks for answering that question.
If you want to see a music video of this style, D-Lu does stuff like this. If you're not familiar with his work, David Lewandowski, he does. Yeah, this is pretty epic, Maciej. I think this is honestly probably your. Look, let's look at that. Look, move around that one. Is that me? It looks like me.
It kind of does. That
Dude,
pose
take
though.
a screenshot. It's totally me.
Someone said my coworkers are like, "What the fuck are you guys laughing at?"
So good. It looks like me.
It kind of does.
Jay, you sick bastard. You love me so much. You made me a Daz model. You make like a fake doll. And
It has a proper. It has a proper head scale too. So
My big giant head. It's perfect. Yeah, dude, that looks like me. This is weird, man. And that's me breakdancing. All right,
all right,
awesome.
let's go back here. So we're in a simulation. Oh, actually, what I want to do is go back to animation to make sure I'm on the frame 0, where we have the T pose, right? So from here is just basically create clothes. We can make like a T-shirt kind of deal here. So
You're really getting into those tutorials, huh? What's some of the big important things that you learned from those tutorials that you were doing when you were getting into Marvelous?
I don't know, dude. There's a lot of things. There's new MD coming out very soon, number 6.
Yeah, number 6. Yeah, I was when I was at Industry Workshops, they had a like a booth there. There's a guy. He was shredding it up. He was getting shreddy on the shred mill. Yeah, and it had some really cool like tension and gravity stuff that was happening. It was really cool.
Nice. I want to symmetry paste. Do sewing right there.
If you own the 5, well, you can just update it, or do you think it'll be like a extra fee or something?
I think if you buy 5 right now, you're gonna get version 6 for free.
Sick.
Yeah.
Thanks, Marvelous.
Like an update, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I usually one thing I've learned is working with the symmetry. You can actually cut right in the.
Cool.
So it's just for testing. So for instance, right now I have it so that it's there is a sewing pattern right there, right?
Yeah.
And that's basically, just to keep it tight there. And then you can go and copy and paste, I believe. Mirror paste.
And that'll be the back.
And that'll be the back, yeah. So I'm going to rotate it.
You change the gizmo to world space? 'Cause if it's not, the default drives me nuts.
Yeah, I don't remember how I did that. I'll try to find out.
It's in preferences.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, it was driving me nuts, dude. I was like, what the
Yeah, I was like, what? Why is this default?
I believe. There we go.
Oh, that's cool. How do you set up the symmetry first pattern, like when you're doing the first pattern?
So what I did is let's say you build a rectangle like this.
Yeah.
Control C to copy, right click, symmetric paste.
Okay.
So now you have both being symmetrical.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Sick.
And then you just simulate that, right?
Yeah.
Look at that booty.
Oh, dude, that's what I'm wearing right now. How did you know?
Dude, I know you so well. I don't know.
Dude, you do. It's like
There you go. You have a t-shirt.
Oh.
I'm actually gonna make him a skirt.
Let's see. Let me see the backside. Yeah, hell,
There you go.
dude. I'm not gonna lie. I look good in that right now.
Here's the good part. When you basically I'm gonna move this away. Because there's a symmetry, you can
Yeah.
basically, do changes
Sick.
real quick, and they're gonna be symmetrical. So,
Dude.
although I think the back of it shouldn't be V-neck here. Should be more like this.
Yeah, and give me some more chest. Show,
Yeah.
I want to show more.
There you
show,
go.
show more skin. Oh, yes.
Oh boy. So now we have this, right? And we can go, let's say, change the particle distance to, say, 8. So we have like a proper, oops, where did it go?
Good old Marvelous. Yeah, sometimes it does that. It's like, hey, you having fun? Well, fuck that.
So now we have a more accurate simulation.
Yeah.
And
That's
go
cool.
to animation. And once it's there, you just press that record button. And then what it's going to do is it's going to try to simulate the cloth to the animation.
Mm.
And once that's done, you can just play the animation and export it as a Collada file, and it should work.
Can you grab just that one like last frame? Is that possible?
Yeah. Then, well, any frame you grab, like any frame you go to, right?
Yeah.
Um,
It'll stop on that one.
Yeah. Basically.
Can you go back to the simulation and at that frame and pull the fabric a little bit? Oh damn, I look good, dude. Look at that. Lady.
Yeah. So you can go like, let's say you want to go here, and then you go in back to simulation.
Okay.
And then
That's
you can
cool.
do whatever you want. And then if you want to,
Hike the skirt up a little bit, pull it up.
you want to have a mini skirt, there you go.
Oh god, I look so good. I'm not gonna lie, like badass.
Somebody had asked
Oh,
if you guys
cheek
ever
action.
used
Yeah, exposing a
Mixamo.
bit of that booty.
Drama teaches Miximo.
See,
Drama
but it's
teaches
simulating the
Miximo
whole
in his
thing,
class.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's really really cool. It's cool that it's there too.
Yeah.
Okay, but it won't. What happens when that happens? Can you reset the sim? Oh, there it is. Okay, so you press that little record button.
Yeah, but I think it records forward. It doesn't do the backwards recording.
Okay. Yeah, because it's not like cached or whatever. But yeah, the
real
person that
time.
asked about Mixamo, Maciej, have you played with it? I don't play with it because Marvelous Designer and Daz are my go-tos, and I feel like they're stronger personally.
He
But it
also
depends on what
says,
you're after.
Is there a way to create a running simulation with Daz?
Yeah,
Yeah,
you just have to
for
get
sure.
the simulation. Do you go on like Daz website to buy that stuff?
Yeah, you can
Dude, that
buy.
looks so good right there.
Dude, check this
Ah.
out. So
Do you buy clothes and stuff? We talked about that before we started. I was curious. Do you buy clothes off Marvelous, or you just said you just go and build them yourself?
just expose that.
Oh,
Expose that thing.
oh, dude.
But
Looking's
anyways.
free, but touching's gonna cost you.
Um,
You got to pull the top collar down. like
yeah.
a real-
So one
yeah.
thing you always want to do is, I guess, like when you're in animation, you either want to you always want to go back to T-pose and work with T-pose if you want to do any changes, right?
Okay.
Because otherwise it just breaks like this.
Okay.
I hope they fix that. That would be nice if you could backward animate. That would be great. But I don't think it's
Yeah.
available just now. So, but you can see like this doesn't work unless we go to the right frame.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
what would happen in that case? What you'd have to do is just run the simulation again.
Yeah, well, you have to
suppose.
reset then the pattern. Like if you have a really complicated pattern,
Yeah.
that would be pretty difficult thing to do. So it's good to get in a habit where you're basically always working on a T-pose, and then when you want to change anything or when you want to test it, you have that animation ready and you can record and play it. Maybe not on the highest setting for particle density. You can do it on like 12, 15. So it gives you decent results that you can see if it works or not, but it's not like
Yeah.
taking forever. And then you always roll back to T-pose and then keep keep doing the edits and whatnot.
Gotcha.
So that's
cool.
basically that's the basic idea.
That's cool.
Yeah.
And when you go and build, like, it's just kind of something that you talked about in your futuristic character design class.
Yeah.
When you're going to like build a template for a cut, like let's say if you're going to make like a hoodie, for example, do you look on like Google for templates for like
Yeah, you would wanna look
pattern
for
templates.
patterns. Yeah, let's say
Gotcha.
let's go and
Dun, 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 bow. Damn, I look good in that freaking outfit, dude.
so you just go search and all right. So this seems to be like a pattern that works. One thing
Yeah.
you just need to ignore, like there's a few different patterns depending on what kind of hoodie you want to create. So there's a lot of material on how to do that stuff, and each of
Yeah.
those will give you different results. But if you follow, let's say this is one side, right? And there is this seam that goes right here that basically you ignore because the way it works in MD is you're actually sewing together edges. You're not putting like a seams or anything like that in the middle or like right next to the edge to get the sewing done. Like you could
Yeah.
probably do that, but it's not really practical thing to do. So last thing I do is like you have that symmetry here, right? So you can right click and remove symmetry basically from those.
Uh-huh.
And then you can go ahead and if you select those two, I believe you can merge them.
Oh,
And now
that's
you
cool.
don't have that seam anymore.
That's what you're talking about. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So you do that just
I-
so you have like perfect symmetry, so you don't have to like do the
exactly.
other shot.
So you work
That's
you
cool.
work in
Yeah.
symmetry, and then once you're done, you're basically merging it. Or maybe if you want to do something asymmetrical from some specific point, you're basically
Mhm.
merging it and then working on it from there, right?
Damn, that's good. Damn, Daniel.
Yeah.
Is it
so-
possible to export
Daniel.
these models in motion to Cinema 4D? Somebody's asking.
Yeah, Collida, I
it's-
think will do it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Collida
you-
will do it for sure.
Yeah. If you export from Marvelous to as a Collida, I believe you can, and it will come in like that too.
Yep.
Damn, I look good, dude.
Yeah,
Make me
dude,
look
you
good.
look ripped. Not
Freaking-
so, but
Not
that.
too much. Yeah. My legs are pretty good though. They look like
those
I've been
quads.
hitting the rowing machine. I'm at the rowing machine today. Ooh. Yeah, get beast mode.
One thing that I'm gonna try to figure out still is you can see that
There's a
when
gap.
it's simulating, you have that squares, which basically means it's coming from the model export where you have polygons, and
Yeah.
the polygon is just like just the surface itself is creating this. I need to find out how to get rid of that.
I think when you
eventually.
export, you can switch the Phong angle probably though.
Well, here's the problem though. The pattern that you have for on this, you can see it's actually
Yeah.
triangles, or even you can go in and
Yeah,
change
let's
it
switch
for
that shit to.
squares.
Yeah, I hate the triangles. I wish I didn't default to that, because I always transition.
It's still
I
more
always
accurate in
quad.
terms of results that you're getting. I
Sure.
think. It's gonna fucking take forever now, because I've decided to do it on the 5 particle distance 5. That's gonna take a little while to do that. Yeah, it's a little more accurate. This kind of looks weird, you know, but it's quads, so it's gonna tessellate really nicely on like turbo smooth or subdivisions and whatnot, you know. So,
Yeah.
but the
yeah,
problem
exactly.
is like when you have that, you can see it here from the shading. You can see those strips of darkness that are basically those squares that we have from the
Yeah.
model. They're gonna still be on that on here. You can see it's still happening, even though the resolution of it is much bigger, right? So I need to figure out. I guess it comes down to how you export and import the model itself, whether it's the resolution of the model that has to be increased, so you can avoid that, or something else. You know, I'll figure it out.
Yeah, no, it looks cool.
I'll figure it
digging
out.
it. I'm digging it. No, it looks cool. I mean, it's always a quest too, and it depends on what you're trying to make, you know. So
Yeah.
yeah, this is awesome. Do you do you play with that that one feature where you like it's like There's little blue dots all over the body.
What is that? What do you mean?
You ever seen that? Or like it's like tension where you can like grab the tension and grab and put things onto things. You've seen that before?
Those here? Those pins?
Yeah, those pins. I think it's those pins, but it's also the way the body looks. Like you can forget the feature. It's like on the left-hand side inside that window. There's a feature to see it. I was seeing somebody do it. It was interesting. It's not that one. It's like the one above. Yeah, it's one of those.
Oh yeah, this is basically. I mean, when you load a model from DAZ, it's not gonna have any of like bounding boxes and whatever that basically allow you to wrap the cloth around it with just one click. You would need to start and create those yourself. Which I found, you can do that, but anytime you're having a new model in, or anytime you're actually loading it up to as an avatar to Marvel's Designer, it's actually, you have to like reload, and it's just like a hassle, really.
How do you get, like, if you have a collar, you want like the collar to be like super thick and firm, like so it stands up.
Stands up.
How do you do that? Like, so like it will be like like Dracula or something, when he has like that high collar. Dracula.
Let's try it.
And do you change the material? Because that's what I've tried. You change it to like a thick leather or something.
Yeah,
and it stands up a
I
little
would
bit.
just do that pretty much.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
You
And that
would
pulls
just do that.
it pulls everything else too, though.
Yeah. Damn, that's slow.
Yeah.
That's
What's going
slow,
on there?
brother. I have to change the simulation back to something smaller.
What's your
That's
sim
the
at
reason.
now? Particle
5.
distance at 20?
I gotta change it to 20 all across, so it's
Another question from the viewer says, what CPU/RAM/GPU do you have in your computer? I'm curious what processing power artists use to render and export their work.
I have a powerhouse here. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
I mean, it's pretty fast. I believe I have 2 Xeon CPUs. One of the top of the line.
You should make an
ones.
Amazon list like I do.
Yeah,
and share it.
I probably gonna do that.
It's not that
I'll
hard.
share
And
it,
people
yeah.
people ask all the time. Here, John. I'm gonna text you in the Google chat a link to my PC so people will know. Yeah, Maciej and I have similar computers. He's actually the one that helped me find and source my motherboard. But for me personally, I have 2 machines. They're clones of one another. I have 6 total GPUs. My slave machine has 3 980 Ti's, and it doesn't. It's something going on with my motherboard. It's not recognizing the third GPU, so I have to figure out what's going on with that. So right now I only have
It might
5,
be
but
BIOS not being
it
updated.
is something. Yeah, it's something weird, and I don't like PCs, so I don't know. So I had to figure it out. I'd rather go and like learn Marvelous Designer and make art and stuff. So, but yeah, so 3 980 Ti's in the slave machine. And if you look in the list, John just posted it in the chat. You can look at that. That has like the breakdown of all the stuff, that all the parts, at least all the parts that I know of. So, and then my other machine, my newer machine, which is the same as the other one, the only big difference is it has 3 Titan X's in it. So 3 Titan X's and 3 980 Ti's. If you're looking into getting into this stuff, it's quite an expensive endeavor. I would suggest starting out like building a machine that with like some 1080s. Like Maciej just like bought like 40 of them. So, oh, that's cool.
I wish.
I
made
paying
it.
attention.
I basically made it. I think it's leather material, leather belt, because leather belt is
leather
very thick and
Yeah,
it kind of stands up. So
that's cool. What if you like extend it? Would it fall down from there? Because I'm just like the only thing I'm wondering, like, how can you pose a piece of fabric inside there? Because that was the one thing I was having a hard time with. Like when I was looking at like Alexander McQueen's work, like he has some bits that's just like it just stands up naturally,
yeah,
like how to pose.
it's not really naturally standing up because of the material. It's the wiring that is sewed in inside
Exactly.
of the material. So
Yeah.
it's definitely possible. I guess you would need to have some kind of pre-built wiring in, let's say Max or Cinema 4D, where you would make it on it. Like you would make that call out of file, right, from the character. Then you would go into the 3D software, get that thing going there, and build like the wires around the area where you want to have them, and animate or sort of attach them to the character. So when he moves, they animate. I actually show that how it's done in 3ds Max in my lessons. Like how you link to the bones that come with the character, and you can do that wiring. And once the wiring is done, then all you have to do is like when you build this, then you create a couple of pins. So you make a pin maybe on the corner right here, and maybe somewhere in the middle. Or you would make like a sleeve that goes around it, just to be even more precise. I'm not a fashion designer either, so a lot of things I'm saying, I'm just assuming. It's almost like I'm farting ideas, and I'm asking you.
I think
to
that's
smell
okay
it.
though. That's exactly it.
That's basically what it is. I'm farting ideas and asking you to smell it.
Oh yeah, I love it.
We just got a 2-month subscriber by Vixadactyl.
Damn, Daniel.
Nice.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Gotta do the damn Daniel.
Yeah.
Wow. Wow.
Damn, Daniel.
Wow.
Damn, Daniel.
Gotcha, bitch.
Damn, Daniel.
Another question says, can you simulate different thicknesses? Because I saw Figini's latest piece, which is dope as fuck, and the jacket looks like a different thickness from Marvel's standard sim.
Yeah, if you bring it in, if you bring this stuff into, I mean, I can answer that from my side. Is if you bring it into Cinema, you can use a cloth tag, and then you can adjust the thickness of that there.
Well, one thing you
makes
can
sense.
do in here is you can add like pressure, which basically makes it like there's an air inside. You can see that right here, what I'm doing. I'm gonna make it a little more loose so you can see it a little better.
Oh, like Alex Vagini's piece. Oh, that's interesting. Oh, damn, I look good.
That
Not gonna
booty,
lie.
Yeah, that's cool.
Farting.
Damn, Daniel.
That's good.
Look, he's breathing with his belly.
Yeah, so there's a question about my setup. So yeah, 3 Titan X's, 3 980 Ti's, and then I'm using net render to patch the machines together with Ethernet and a router. And yeah, when I'm working on scenes, I use all of them together because I don't want to waste time, and I have all the equipment. I might as well, So my office gets quite loud with the computers. I have like 20 fans in these things, so that's cool. And then you added a little like thing at the bottom, like a
Yeah, and on shoulders. And let's say I want to go back and have that seam or that cut that I had. I can totally do that right here. So I would create inner, I believe it's an inner line, and then go here and cut it.
Ooh, hello, ladies.
Hello, ladies. But what you can do
sick.
is, let's say, oops.
You're capturing my mood right now in that clothing.
Yeah, dude. I totally am. So I know. Let's say you want to have like a, oops, let's do this. You want to add like a zipper. And then what I would do is just define how low or how much up the zipper goes. And then see those together.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Another question says, Maciej, do studios, for example, Marvel Studios, provide finished 3D characters for you to use in DAZ so you can set up a pose for a concept artwork? Or are you creating the characters all by yourself, referring to the artworks of Captain America Civil War, by the way. Any link to your ArtStation?
It depends. So, for instance, Iron Man stuff I got from the studio, but Cap
You
America
got
I
him from
had
Turbo
to.
Squid.
That would be so fucking funny, though.
That would be funny.
In some cases, they do provide that stuff, but not always. Like you have to be resourceful. So
Yeah, when you have to be resourceful, you're going to like, different stores and online things and stuff like that, right?
Yeah.
Just try and find those things. Okay. Yeah. This is looking sick, dude. I look fat. This is awesome.
yeah, you can make
That's interesting.
look, you can make stuff like this where you create like a seam line that goes across.
Yeah.
Oops.
Oh, it allows you to do it cross, huh? That's cool.
Yeah, and what you can do there is make it so it's elastic.
Oh, yeah, nice.
Doesn't go across the other guy. Oh, that's weird. That's interesting. Oh well, that's okay. You can always copy paste.
Are you copying and pasting that one and just putting it on the other one? Okay, that's cool. And is it snapping to the other one? Oh, that's cool. Yeah.
Whoa.
Whoa.
Whoa, that foot
Feet
though.
vision. Yeah, in regards to that question that people were asking about the GPUs, yeah, that's pertaining to my use of Octane. That's the only renderer I use is Octane. Yeah, but there's also, whatever GPUs. There's like Redshift, I think, is the next one that's out too that uses it too. So.
Yeah,
that's
the
cool.
F-Storm Redshift. There's quite a bunch of them.
Yeah.
Next question for you is, this one says, hey guys, it's a bit irrelevant to what we are doing here. Was just a bit curious. Can you summarize your process for making posters? It's a question for both Maciej and Ash.
Sorry, what was the question?
Your process. What is your process for making posters? Just real quick.
Process of making posters. Yeah, I mean, first things first. All this stuff, I was just talking about this last night. Everything that I do for me personally is just solving problems, and not necessarily problems in a bad way. It's just like finding solutions. That's what design is to me. And so, designing a poster is more or less like trying to figure out what it is that I'm designing and why. And then once I've answered those questions internally, then I start to break everything down into like answering questions that I might have as far as like trying to get as much information about what it is that I'm trying to make. And then from there, I can go and start approaching the actual design process, which is like, gathering type treatments or making images or whatever it might be. And then going from there and just trying to figure out all that kind of detail, like trying to figure out those answers. So in regards to poster design, it's more or less just kind of first knowing what the task is, what it's supposed to do. If it's supposed to communicate like, a concert, for example, then it needs to have, pertinent information, and it has to be clear and be clear. And then from there, it's just more or less like putting all that together, and then doing iterations until you get as close as possible. So,
cool.
Yeah, that's it for me. But I mean, it's always a process. So yeah. Yeah. And if you're asking about like how to use Octane, you don't know how to use Octane, I mean, the internet's at your fingertips. Maciej and I, well, at least I teach it a little bit in my main title design class, so you can learn it from there. There's also a really good resource from a website called In Life Thrill. This guy does a really great job of breaking down Octane. He doesn't get super deep into certain things, but it's a really great resource, and it's amazing because it's free. Yeah, you use that one too, right, Maciej?
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah, it's a good one. He just kind of breaks it down. He doesn't get into like the node editor and all that stuff too. So, and if you're looking at the cost of our computers and like what the hell, yeah, well, if you want to play in the major leagues, you have to have the expensive bats to hit the home runs, all right? So Yeah,
way
it's
to see it.
expensive. Yeah, I know it doesn't. That jacket looks sick as hell, by the way. But yeah, I mean, it's an investment,
Thanks,
and
buddy.
yeah, yeah. So legit. It's called the Prego.
Yeah, it's the Prego jacket.
Yeah, so check out In Life Thrill. It's great. But if you want to learn this stuff, you just have to. You're here now. You're learning, so that's good. You're learning a little bit about Marvelous Designer. You're understanding how Maciej and I think and work, and so yeah, I think at the end of the day, it's more or less just like putting time in and understanding those things.
Yep.
Another question says, from the era of own experience, what do you think makes a good art director slash production designer, and the expectations of meeting a good versus bad? Also, what is a good response when getting a compliment? Thanks.
That's a big question. You want to go at that one, Maciej, or you want me to?
I can go about that.
Good art
There's,
director. Try that one.
I think both are. I mean, art director and production designer. I'm assuming art director in video games and production designer in film, because those are the same roles. In film, art director is not really the same as art director in games. It's just a totally different role. But speaking about what trade, I guess it's what trades are making them good to work with. That's, I'm assuming that's the question. Well, one thing I've noticed that it's like every person obviously is different. There's different art directors, different production designers. Let's bulk them together into art director role for now, so I don't have to repeat myself with like 20 phrases. So, in short, AD, art director, AD. Good. There are good ADs and bad ADs. Everyone is different. Everyone has different character. Everyone works differently. Some of the art directors are great artists, but shitty managers. And there are also art directors that are great managers and shitty artists. And I guess it always comes down to ego and how well they work with people. There are people that work really well with others and trust. Like when you get hired, they trust you that you're gonna create the best thing you can based on your possibilities, based on how good you are. They want to get the best out of you, and some of our directors will trust you that you will come up with the right idea and they will accept it. Some others will be very insecure and will almost like pixel fuck everything you do, and that's the worst thing that can happen. I think the best ADs are somewhere in the middle, that they have their own vision, they know what they want to do, but they know also how to express and get you inspired so that you are actually delivering the best results based on the descriptions you're getting, instead of just trying to make up ideas and see if they work or not. One thing I I found and I hate the most is when I'm being asked to do 20 versions of something. I usually cringe, because that means that the person that is asking me that has no idea what he wants.
And they're not supposed to be in that position if they don't
Yeah.
have a vision. You're like, ugh.
Yeah. I mean, I'd rather not to work on a project and tell them find the person. I don't think I run into that at all recently. But if I would probably say I don't want to work on a project that like I'd rather have a person to find the right person for the project than having me, for instance, and do something that might not work because the ideas I have and the style I deliver is not going to fit to what I'm being asked for. I think that's better for the project, not necessarily better for me. But I've been on projects where I had to go back and forth like hundreds of time, and it was just annoying because I would try to do my best and it just wouldn't work. And then all of a sudden I would be somewhere in my head, I would be like, fuck it, I just gonna do worst shit I can do. So it just looks good. I don't care about how it's gonna be designed or whatever. Just gonna pull together some references. Fuck it. I just gonna mash something up and I don't care if he likes it or not. And I would send that like perfect. Like, what the fuck? You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's a mind fuck. Yeah.
It's a mind fuck, and it's just like you don't want to be in that spot because as an artist, you want to deliver the best art ever at all times.
Yeah, when you're working.
Yeah, it doesn't really matter what kind of project you're really doing. You kind of want to do that. You kind of want to be in a spot where you're delivering art that is nice. You know, it's not a shitty thing. And when it's one thing to be challenged with ideas and having work with a person that will push you, that will find that you're doing something well and then guide you and push you even further to places you've never been before. But there's always a progression from good, almost like from good to great, where I did a good job, it's going in the right direction, I'm having a conversation with my art director, and we're knowing where this is going. I can see that there's something in his brain that is telling him that it needs to be pushed further, and he will want to find that in me. And I had that experience when I worked on Jupiter, where I was working with John Gata, where that was probably one of the most eye-opening, mindfuck, awesome projects I worked on. And it was one of the hardest ones too, because John would basically, send me through the grinder of ideas. And it wouldn't be like send me 20 versions. It would be like working on one idea until we actually get it, until we actually make it happen. I posted this image way back when the project was released. It was a scene that was cut from the film, which was this panoramic 20,000 pixel fucking alien planet battle, millions of characters and whatnot. It all started with a close-up of a character fighting with the big monster. That's where it started. And we worked together for like 2 weeks, going back and forth on designs and ideas and what we want to see on the screen and how it's supposed to look and whatnot. And it was amazing. It was like, damn, like I would never be able to do that myself. Like that was a point where I was just like, I would probably stop right here. And that was like first or second day out of 2 weeks. You know what I mean? So there's definitely, there's definitely people that are going to get best out of you. And there are people that just have no clue and they just climb the ladder because they're good at talking. And I've seen both. And the best you can do as an artist is try to get work done and best of your ability, regardless of what the project is. Even if it's a shitty project. Even if you work with a person that you think is a fucking dickhead and you never want to work with that person ever again, if you impress a dickhead, maybe he's good friends with fucking James Cameron. Who knows? This is a really small world, especially in film. Everyone knows one another. So you might be working with someone you hate, and that person knows someone you love, like someone you would love to work for. And you don't want to be, burning bridges and making an impression that you suck. And because the word goes around. So, I guess that's what I would say. I don't know, Ash, can you add anything?
Yeah. Yeah, no, I mean, quite similar with what you have, and having art directed people and directed people as well, and understanding both sides of the spectrum. And then like watching, say, like behind the scenes of The Lord of the Rings, that was really eye-opening. I couldn't believe, I'm not trying to be a jerk here, but just, I don't know, it didn't make sense. Peter Jackson's role didn't make sense as a director when I was watching him, because he didn't have direction. He would just kind of let people wander about and make like a million iterations, and then he would kind of vaguely touch upon it at the end, and that just doesn't make any sense to me at all. Like, you should have, I think a great director has impeccable taste, and I also think a great director is as a facilitator of communication, and that person should get the best out of their crew to facilitate their vision and taste. And right there, I didn't see it. And that's like the worst case scenario, is like when somebody has the power to just kind of have everybody overwork themselves. Yeah. And that just, I don't know, it was like really weird. I was like, wow, like you call yourself a director, but you don't really direct, it's like, for me at least. And I'm not trying to be a jerk or anything, and I'm sure he had his reasons. I'm not trying to call him out, because there's many directors that do that. But if you look in history, all the badass films that I like, or the ones that stand out to me, we can just use like James Cameron, for example. Like Jim he's actually a really good artist, and he could do many different things. He can shoot his own films, he can write, He does all these different things all at once, and he's the kind of guy that you would want to work with, even though he's intense. You would be able to get, if you're working for him, you're knowing that you're going to go and get his vision, basically, because he's too busy to do that. He's going to request that you do it for him, So I think for me, a great director, because art director is the term is in there, is somebody that has taste, and they're directing you to get that taste done. And if you're a gun for hire, like say Maciej or I, when you're doing concept art and stuff, the perfect situation you want to have is somebody that has impeccable taste that aligns with yours, because it's going to make it effortless for you to make these things. We've had a lot of fun. Maciej, I don't think I can talk about, Maciej can talk about a recent film we worked on. We had a lot of fun with that. For the most part, we just were allowed to play with what we loved already in the source material. It was a lot of fun. So situations like that, they come few and far between. But if you have a really good art director, you can do some really cool projects, and they can have they get inspired by, not just they don't go to ArtStation and get inspired by what's the fast fix. They think about history and art and history and the fashion design influencing mech design, and somebody that has a smart avenue of how to take their taste and smash them together. It's kind of like the Hadron Collider, basically, which is they're taking particles and smashing them and seeing what happens from it. A good director, I think, will do that as well with their taste, and they're just trying to see how they can make things out of simple things.
Yeah.
and combine things. And you want to go on that voyage with them, you want to go on that journey with them, you want to help them get their stuff across. And the further I go along in my career and becoming a director, the more I realize how important it is to communicate my taste instantly, fast, and get that vision out. And the faster I'm able to do that with the right team, the faster the results come out. So this is a long-winded answer to a very big and complex question, but in regards to finding a good director or a good art director or creative director or whatever, you're going to want to find somebody that actually communicates to you what they're after, has good taste that aligns with yours, and is somebody that you can passionately help and feel like a part of, not just like a tool, but a part of the process. That's when all those three things come together, you're in a really great situation, I think.
Yeah. If anything, I mean, if you can choose and pick the projects you want to work on,
Yeah.
then do that. But most artists will gonna be in a situation where they can't, and you just have
Sure.
to, accept what it is and work with it. The
Yeah.
only advice you can get here is do the best out of it. Be the best. Be the best on the team. Be the nicest person. Always help. Obviously treat yourself as a human. So if things that are being asked of you are impossible, just say that. Like, I cannot do that. Physically, it's impossible. And just be honest with people. Be honest about expectations and be honest about what can be done. And it should go pretty good for you. So.
Yeah, exactly. I think I couldn't agree more. And I think that's just what you're going to want to do. You're going to want to constantly search for that. And if you don't get it, it'll take you some time, but you'll get there, And I think it just, follow that as close as you can get. Maciej and I are constantly searching. Get out of here with that. But Maciej and I think our goals as artists as of now is just to create our own stuff. Like, we're getting to the point where we're making stuff for directors that it's like, well, we might as well just start making our own stuff because it's becoming that powerful for us. So I think our goal is to run Learn Squared, share what we learn with you guys, build our own work and have fun doing so, build IPs and all that kind of stuff. And that's kind of a hint at what's coming down the pipe in the rest of this year and then into the next. It's going to be a lot of fun because that's really what we're trying to do collectively, and can continue that. And what I'm saying by that is, if you're in a situation now that you're not happy with, if you know why you're not happy and you can articulate and define why you're not, then it'll help you understand where you need to go. I mean, I've been there. I've worked at jobs that I hated. I've had many jobs that I couldn't stand. I would just cooking food for people or washing dishes at a restaurant. I mean, those kind of things suck, those aren't fun. But if you get a chance to, you can kind of use those as opportunity to understand why you don't like them and then how to get closer. I'd say I'm 33 now. I'm getting really quite close to what I've been wanting to do for years now, and it's getting closer every year. I think probably once Lost Boy comes out, and then a couple other things are happening. I think once those things come out, it's gonna be good. There's some really cool things. So
It's awesome.
yeah.
So we have about 5 minutes left until 2. Andrew wanted me to bring up subscribing to our Facebook events.
Oh yeah.
Want to just share that?
Yeah. How do the people do that? Let's educate them on that.
Yeah,
I
so
mean,
just-
is that
If you guys get a chance, just go to this link here, and then just subscribe. It's pretty easy.
okay? Cool.
There's a
So-
subscribe button. But yeah,
And what does this
each
do?
one
It
of
just
these
keeps
events.
people and keeps people focused on like what's happening because there's a lot of stuff going on with us.
Yeah, we're trying to have Facebook as our nexus. Andrew put it. So
Yeah.
the more people subscribe there, just keeping up to date with everything that we do and stuff. But Andrew wanted to bring it up because the more people we share there, the more it spreads, as
Yeah.
well. So just if you guys could, we'd appreciate that. That'd be awesome. If not, don't worry about it.
Yeah, don't worry about it if you
We
can't.
also have this, whatever. So
Yeah, exactly. Well, we're going to be posting it everywhere, but I think that's exactly it. If you're interested in learning more about what we're doing, we have quite a few classes coming into the school soon, and we're going to be having those teachers on. So if you want to get if you're like, oh, I really want to take that class, I don't have the money right now, but I'm curious as to how this teacher works or whatever, this is the place. You're going to want to come to Twitch because Twitch is going to be that. So so you're going to want to have that as a resource, and utilize that. So it's a good resource to have. I wish I had this. I mean, when I first started, I had Maciej's words in a book that I bought that probably like a year old of words, so now you guys have all this stuff, and it's a cool resource to have,
Yep.
So
My words of wisdom. I was saying that ass all the time.
Oh
No,
God.
you told me about that ass, dude.
it doesn't stop.
You've created a monster.
No, it has stopped. It's done. That era of that ass is done. It'll come back every once in a while, but it needs
It
to
has
be like
to.
the dessert. It can't. You can't.
Yeah.
You can't. It has to be like
I
dessert.
know.
Mhm.
I'm trying.
Like dessert. So two more questions, and you guys good?
I can go until 2:15. So
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Me
So
too.
this one says, what percentage of paid work have you done that is completely done by you and you alone? I hear so much from top end designers where it seems like there's just so many people involved in the process. I've been in the industry for over 16 years, and 99% of my work is all done by myself. Design, direct, animate, etc., etc. It feels alien to hear how many people are involved with your productions. Like, what part can you actually call yours alone?
I mean, working on a film, if you've watched a film, you sit at the end of it, you'll sit there for about 20 minutes and watch the list of people. So, and I work in film, so that kind of answers that. And the parts that I do, it's just a section of a larger piece, so it's attached to a larger object. I think it's the same thing for Maciej working in games and all that kind of stuff too. So if you're doing everything yourself, I mean, that's awesome. So but
yeah,
if you're
power
not,
to you, dude.
yeah, that's awesome. I mean, that's a difficult one, being able to do all that stuff. So but yeah, I mean, for me personally, I mean, it's just like little sections of that process, and being attached to that piece of it. Like, so if it's UI design, say, like, let's use Ender's Game, for example. It's a small piece of a bigger project. It's just, making UI design or graphic design for a film. I think it's just as intense at times, reaching, hitting goals or hitting due dates and stuff like that too. And then the intensity of a film production schedule is really, really crazy. So, I mean, I don't know. It's pretty intense. That's still pretty intense. I mean, doing all your stuff yourself is pretty intense too, though. But yeah, I don't know. See.
This next one is.
I'm
from
looking
Jay.
at going to do my own work completely myself soon enough, though. It's getting there. So It's just like the ideas I have are quite huge. They're massive, and if I'm going to do a project all by myself, I mean, it's really small teams. Like I did a bunch of client work this past couple of months, which was just myself and a friend of mine, and we do all this stuff together. So, but I don't know. It's more or less like just trying to find that boundary to that jacket's so fat.
That fat jacket.
He said thank.
Having
pretty
problems
sick,
right
though.
here though.
Yeah, in the center, in the
Yeah.
back, the way it's binding.
Yeah,
Okay,
you
so
have
thanks
to
for
you have to
answering,
look
by
at
the way.
the how much material is there and how to remove it.
Yeah, I mean, the guy's asking, so like, claiming that work as your own is easy. Yeah, I mean, I guess so. I guess it really depends on how clear you are with it, you know? Um, if you didn't do it, then yeah, you can state it. If you look at like, let's say, let me use my own example for like FITC title sequence, for example. If you look on that page and you look at the credits, it's clear as day. Like I directed it and I designed it, and I got the project together. But at the same time, everybody else has specific roles on that too. So is it? I mean, should I not claim that as being my project as well? You know, and then everybody that worked on that, should they not? You know what I'm saying? It's a conundrum, basically. That makes sense? You know what I'm saying?
You know what I'm saying?
Maciej's deep in.
I know what you're saying.
Yeah. So I mean, if it's a problem for you to claim the work, then well, then I guess that's why you're doing what you're doing, which is just doing you know, your project by yourself, you know. But I think, and it's just like I don't know. Trying to articulate what I'm trying to say. Um, yeah, I mean, it's just more or less like trying to figure out, you know, what the roles are and what you want to do. I mean, for me personally, as a director, if you look at, say, like, a lot of people equate the success of David Fincher's films to David Fincher, but if you think about it, there's many different people that are associated with his success. You know, even Ridley Scott. You know, think about his DOP and his production designer and all the people that grinded away to keep the budgets together, or the person that got the actors on script. I mean, it's all a part of a bigger piece, you know, and it's not just one thing. I think great projects do come about from many different people working together. For me personally, as much as I'd like to just make my own stuff, I think it also the right people, I think, is really what's important. So
Yeah,
yeah, and I think it's more.
You want to work with the right people, for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah,
Above anything
people that
else.
push you.
Yeah.
Yeah, people that push you, they make you a better person. They challenge you. You know, it shouldn't always be like fucking like perfection all the time. A great relationship is ups and downs, and you'll have that in your career and your creative career as well too, and just having that kind of guiding you and stuff. So, but you know, it's a good question, and I think it's something to really be addressed, and especially for myself. And there's a lot of people, I know a lot of people that in this industry, specifically in motion design, who claim work that isn't theirs. They say it's theirs and it's not, and I know it isn't, but it's just, you know, what they choose to be, and they have to sleep with that at night. I think for me, it's always, I try to do my best always to be as transparent as possible about who I work with, how I work with them, and how clear it is, like who did what. But not everybody's like that, and that's also a kind of a conundrum as well. So, but when I do work, like let's say FITC, I'm incredibly proud of that. And that's an important piece in my career that I very much value and like appreciate, and I really want to utilize that and share that, you know, with everybody and stuff. So, but yeah, I guess it all kind of comes down to what it is that you're after. So, somebody's asking about doing a critique. Weren't we supposed to do some critiques today?
Yeah, I have. You still have them sent, or I sent them to you. You still have the folder.
Oh, the Dropbox folder?
Yeah, you want to.
Well, we're not going to do that. Remember, we were going to go through the school website.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
You want to do that first, Ash?
Yeah, I can do that. Let me see. Go to Learn Squared.
I'll make you presenter.
Sure. Give me a second here. One sec. I can see all this stuff here. I'm just gonna kind of comb through this, and yeah, if you can make me presenter, that'd be great. Let's see. There we go. Entire screen. All right. Minimize that. Okay, so I'm on the Learn Squared site. We're gonna do this when we stream too. We're gonna randomly just kind of go through this like for like 5 or 10 minutes and just kind of comb through this. Because Maciej and I are really quite busy and we get quite consumed with what we're doing in regards to work and just running the school itself. And it sometimes is really hard, as much as we want to keep up with you guys on here. It's hard to keep up and do these. So I think this would be a more dynamic way to give you guys notes to help you guys out, and just kind of and also encourage you guys to join these streams, because they're a good benefit if you're taking the class and you want to get more feedback. This would be a good way. And it's kind of a lottery, so I'm just going to randomly go through here. So I'm going to comb through for about 5 minutes really quickly and go through main title design. Then I'll spend another 5 minutes or so on UI design, and then I'll pass it over to Maciej.
All right.
John, cool?
Yep.
Yep.
Cool.
And to the guy that
Wow.
was asking too.
Wow.
Yeah, so he's a subscriber too, but he was just asking him if he could get his work critiqued.
Sure. Yeah, when I get to UI design, is it in the homework upload?
This one, it should be. I mean, I think it is. I think I saw it in there, but
Yeah, me too. I think so too. I'm gonna get to that in just a minute. So let me go into. So I'm on the Learn Squared course, our beautiful website. Bam! Wow! Wow! There we go. And then I'm on the main title design class. I can't wait. Someday when you guys go here, it's gonna be so many classes. You guys are gonna
Hold on, I
have
don't
such
think
an
it's
awesome
updating.
education. It's gonna be great. Oh, is it not? Let's see. Is it
Yeah,
frozen?
I think it's frozen because you're sharing also screen on Skype, which is probably
Oh.
not ideal.
Let's
yeah,
see.
stop that.
See. Stop sharing.
And then
How about now?
try doing the sharing on GoToMeetings again,
Okay.
like on the screen icon. You can do it with pressing the screen icon.
See. Amazing. All right. Can you see my screen? So this one, and then what in like the settings?
Hold on.
Meow meow meow.
Let me-
Meow meow.
Huh. Oops.
Oopsie
There's
poo.
2 names there. Did you get
There we go. Yeah, I got an invite. How about that?
Yeah, that should work.
Okay, is it updating?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Awesome. Okay, you can go ahead and throw it back on. Okay, guys. Technical difficulties. We'll get this figured out. Yeah, so you go to the website, and then I'm going to go to main title design. Is it working now?
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. Okay, and so now I'm in main title design. I'm going to comb through. If you go to the site and you kind of want to see all the homework, this is something we're working on right now. So it's a lot easier for you guys. This is just right now it's a bit of a placeholder, but we're gonna get to it, making it better as the class progresses itself. So this is cool. Somebody did a drive, attributed drive. This is awesome. This is somebody doing a study though, right? Or is this a drive? Drive didn't have a title sequence. Yeah, I don't think it did. Did it? Can't remember. I haven't watched it for a while.
Can't remember either.
Yeah. So whoever did this is cool. I like the. I think the branding of Drive is quite cool. I forget the name of the type treatment that they used, but it was really had that 80s flair to it. This film is really well shot, and it's actually very cleverly put together too. Your type treatment's pretty cool. The size of it is legible from afar, which is cool. This is clever, putting it in that frame right there. Sometimes it's quite interesting when in regards to title sequences. I think oftentimes, you're doing this as a design experience, but a lot of times, a lot of films don't need title sequences. It gets in the way actually. So, but this is a cool kind of like tribute to Drive itself and kind of playing with it. So I think the heavy vignetting and all that kind of stuff is fun. I would suggest with this stuff is try to think about how could you tell it if you were really going to go and redirect this whole thing, like as you've done here? But how would you put it together if you didn't have this source material? You know, like how would you go about making a title sequence for Drive without having this kind of stuff? Just something to think about as an exercise. But this is really cool. It's cool to see that you're trying these things, and I think this is a cool approach. And taking footage and putting type over it is it can be an easy way to make a fast result, but at the same time, it's can be challenging if you don't get it right. So it's cool. The placement and everything's nice. It's nice and simple. I'd maybe suggest also kind of playing with the spacing between your letters, and also like playing with the size differences too. Because right now, when you're looking at the typography, nothing is really all that important. By is lowercase and it's a little bit smaller, but it all reads as being all the same importance. You have like music by Cliff Martinez that's sticking out a little bit, so that's good. But with this one, for example, you might want to adjust the sizes just to kind of play with it a little bit. A case study to look at is Fargo, the intro to Fargo. Look at it. It's a really great study. I dissect it. Yeah, it's one of the best films, but it's amazing. But it's a great study and really beautifully well placed typography. I actually do a study of it in the class because it's so brilliantly put together. But I would suggest checking that out because I think that would be really a good resource for you. I'm gonna do one more main titled, and then I'm gonna jump into the other one. Let's see. Somebody did semi-primary. That's cool. Let's see what's this. What we got here? This is okay. So I got Casey again. Hopefully Casey's here. We'll have to do something, John, where we can kind of reach out to people, make sure that they're aware that I'm going to be going through this, so people know. I think we'll talk about it. So yeah, this is cool. Again, in my class, I've been breaking things down. The reason why I do it like this is because I want you guys to think on paper or think on the screen or whatever, and breaking things down to help you break your thoughts down, because when they're abstractly floating around in your head, they're not doing much unless you're like you have some sort of interesting Asperger's or autism or something weird where you're just like a super genius and all lives there perfectly. And so but the most people, we don't live like that, and that's not how it works. So I think this is really cool. I think it's rad that you're breaking this all down, being able to just kind of see it at a glance. You can keep going further, and this is what I kind of talk about a lot in the classes and when we do the live mentorships, and a lot of my mentorship students will know this, is that I say, okay, well, you're at the surface now, and I want you to dig deeper. It seems like, let's look at use the Earth, for example. You have the core on the outside is where we live, but if like you're wanting to get to that like juicy goody hotness is in the center, there's many different levels to the crust of the Earth's that we have. And so if you want to get deeper down there, the further you go down the rabbit hole, sometimes you go too far and you get burned, but you want to kind of go at least 3 tiers deeper. It'll help you.
Going too deep in the rabbit hole and getting burned.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. You don't want to do that, because then you'll just kind of get lost. And I've had students get completely lost. I myself have gotten lost in that too. You don't want to do that because projects are due and all that stuff. So you're making great use of the footage that of the Apollo mission that NASA produced for us, which is incredible. Such a great resource. Big thanks to NASA for being awesome and using the tax money right. This is really cool. I would say I would shrink your typeface down a little bit. It's a little strong, a little too big for me, just in my case. One small step is nice and clean and simple. I like that. Think about narrative. Think about how you can put these narratives together. And utilizing these. Right now we have isolated elements. I think that's good, but let's think about like how would you sew them together? Think about how they would move together, how you would put them together. And always with this stuff, when you're making this, you want to always want to think about how it's going to come together in the final product. If you're sitting there to pitching and talking to your client or your team about your idea, you want to be able to go like, okay, well then this goes to this and this transitions here and this is why, and you want to have, you want to answer why basically, because you don't want to be looking like a doofus, so not to be a jerk, I'm just trying to give you some real world but no, you've done a great job here. I just want you to I mentioned this in the class, but you want to constantly be cognitive of, the solutions that you're after. But yeah, all in all, I think this is good. This is a great first approach. I would say dig deeper into this if you can, if you want to, and then I would say this is cool. I like how you're breaking this down. Um, and it's all here. I apologize because I didn't read it. But I think what you could do is, to develop more of the ideas on the anxiety and stuff is possibly playing with your size and you can put this, like, maybe make this a dot and maybe make like a close-up shot from that to like the close-up of a face of an astronaut and connecting those two visuals, so you're having clashing images to kind of convey those ideas. So yeah, that's awesome. I'm gonna go through these eventually. I'm gonna go through and we're gonna articulate them. So you should, if you have friends that are here that are in the classes or didn't make it to this one, have them come and join because there's gonna be a lot of stuff to talk about. I'm only gonna do one in the UI design because I'm gonna let Maciej go from here. Let's see. I think this is his work. This is what we're talking about today. And I think you sent over your Behance too. So first and foremost, thanks for being here in the class and also for being at the stream and being an active student because this is only going to make you better. These are quite interesting, kind of crazy. Again, I think the thing we were talking about last time is more or less like what are your goals and your destination? What are you trying to do? I don't see anything here kind of describing what it is. I mean, if you're trying to make the hex object, and per the class. I mean, Maciej was my apprentice, so he knows all about this as well. If you're trying to make the hex object, where is it? And then kind of like, how is it working? I think your technique and what you're playing with these things, the things that I've taught you, you're taking these and making some really cool things. You can take this stuff and go really far with it, though. I was talking to Cornelius about this. If you look at Animatrix Second Renaissance, if you go to Animatrix Second Renaissance, he was talking about this last time when I was going through the lessons. He was mentioning this as a muse, and it's a big film that I really enjoy too. But see this intro scene, how this is coming up? Again, like, see how like taking these lessons and the things that I'm teaching you and using them as like muse or inspiration to kind of build out more ideas that could be then put into like a film, for example, and they're trying to explain the matrix that's inside a construct, kind of like how the Neuromancer film works, or the book works. So see how like connected this is? Quite similar too if you look at it like this, but you could possibly take that and extract it and make like a scene, use this as inspiration and build like a whole scene out from there, So taking one asset and going further and deeper into the rabbit hole, basically. These are cool. Just kind of taking those colors and playing with them and taking all those techniques, the gradient technique and all that kind of stuff. Looks cool. All this stuff, the displacement stuff. I think what you're doing right now is good. You're just exercising the lessons. Now it's more or less like, where do you go from there? How do you kind of come up with your own stuff, your own ideas, your own, your own vision, all that kind of stuff, So, hell yeah. Oh yeah, I was watching this last night. Got an hour in. This is the good stuff, dude. Making of aliens. Anyways, I digress. But yeah, I would say for you, I would suggest continue going further. You're just touching the surface. You're just taking what I've taught you. So now it's like go further down the rabbit hole, create your own projects, your ideas, create ideas and concepts to go from there and dig deeper into it. So yeah. And the more meaning that you can have and attach to it, the better you're off. So like if you don't have one, if an idea doesn't come to your mind, then just look at like, let's use, for example, like you can make your own fan fiction off of something from a property that you really like, So for example, let's use Alien, for example. Like maybe there's something inside of Aliens that you want to kind of like convey, or, inside the spaceship, there's some kind of like property inside of it that's like the processing machine or the UI inside the machine, that's on the set, or the radar detector scanner thing, any of that kind of stuff. Attach those to what you've already learned and then applying more meaning, it'll help. So yeah, so I hope that works. Hope that makes sense. Yeah, that's my feedback for you. Technically, you're figuring it all out. You're using all those things properly. I think it all makes sense. You're making art right now, and now it's more or less like exercising that, the ability to make a production piece out of it, or like continue that to go further down into the next levels of things, So cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
I'll
Maciej, you're next.
Yeah, I'll summarize it with one quote.
Don't let your dreams be dreams.
All right.
Perfect. And I would encourage everybody, we're going to start doing this. So if you're a student here, you're doing your homework, push it all onto the website. That's where we're going to be pulling these from. So we're doing a random lottery. If your name doesn't get pulled, don't be butthurt.
Yeah, don't
jump
be
out.
butthurt.
Yeah, jump out at us and ask for critiques if you can. Maciej and I are very busy people. We can't give you guys that kind of feedback and footage or feedback all the time. But you can also go and sign up for these mentorship classes as we have them. They sell out quite quickly. I don't know, John, is there seats available for this, for the UI design? I think I saw one or two was still available. So
I think so. Yeah.
and that's when you get like a weekly, like legitimately weekly review with Maciej and I, so.
Yep.
The lottery is just us kind of going through this. These are sick. The lottery is just us going through the homework uploader, encouraging you guys to keep active and also encouraging you guys to use the site and the system. And since we're too busy, these are cool, man.
Yeah, these are
This is
cool. I was about to say.
Yeah, I like them. Yeah, I like the art. Line art is so cool.
Yeah, shut up. Now it's my time.
Okay, sorry. Share your screen so people can see it. Sorry,
Yeah,
people.
people can totally see it. I'll share your screen. Share the screen with you though.
Yeah,
'cause
please.
You probably cannot see it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Give us guys a second. I'm figuring it out on my end too. So.
Yeah. We'll get this down. Get it down.
I should be able to. You should be able to now.
There we go. Cool. Is it
Just for you,
possible to
Ash.
update?
Just for you. I'm breaking
Thanks,
the system
babes.
just for you. All right. So.
What class are you in right now?
Well, this is
Environment?
intro. Yeah, this is intro to environment painting. I believe that's
Nice.
lesson. Which lesson is that? Lesson 8. There you go.
That's sick. Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty good. I don't really have much to say. If anything, what I like about this painting here, I'm gonna maximize. What I like about that specific painting is not only just the framing. If anything, I would maybe add a little bit of space here on the corner, like on the right hand side, maybe like half an inch more space, so you're not creating a tangent here with this part of architecture where you can see this line is slowly but surely meeting the end here. I would probably just push it a little back, just slightly so. I like the texture of the rocks, and it's very nicely made. It's I believe it's some kind of mix of texture and brushes. I like how the vegetation feels like it's caking in and layered with a little bit of shadows over here and whatnot. It's a good framing. If anything, again, I would probably add a little extra space on the right hand side. And if anything, I would maybe work on the characters. They seem to be not catching up with the quality of the rest of the painting. The rest of the painting feels very good. Those almost seems like coming up from a different painting. If anything, I would say what could fix that would be maybe a little less shades. Maybe having almost like a cell shading on those characters. So it would make it feel like it's more of a manga or anime frame. You know what I mean? I think that could work pretty well. I don't think I have any other comments to this painting other than that.
I like the
was pretty
lighting
cool.
too.
Yeah, it's really
Like
good
the-
lighting.
Yeah, it's
Colors work really well. Just composition could be slightly fixed. It's not bad. It's just missing that like half an inch on the right hand side. I like this one a lot. This is really cool. It feels like a very interesting. Damn, some people are texting me.
Sexting you.
Sexting me. This feels very nice. This painting is very nice. I like it. Nice colors. It feels like a cartoon background. It's fun. I like the characters. I like the storytelling that's going on here. Composition is great. few ideas that could be worked on to improve the quality of how it looks as a painting. I'm actually gonna pull it up to Photoshop, I think. So,
You have some really good success with this class, man.
Yeah,
I've yet
definitely.
I've yet to take it, but all your students are really crushing it. Is that from a game or something? It's like
um,
Hyper Light Drifter or something.
yeah, it looks kind of like it, but I don't think it is. If
That's cool.
anything, when I'm looking at, oops, I don't think it's a full scale. There we go. My Photoshop skills here are amazing.
Yeah, it's sick, dude.
When I'm having, like, when you're adding a glow and you're thinking about rim lights it's pretty much all across the place, what I would do is I think about, and I teach that, think about the structure and which parts of the structure will actually start catching light. So I'll maybe focus on right here, where you see it's almost like your regular rim light that artists do, which is basically just outlining the whole thing. I don't think it would look that way with this kind of light source. If anything, I would imagine that you would have maybe a little bit of that rim going in. In most cases, anything that is facing outside or outwards the lighting would not catch any of the lighting. Maybe some corner that is chipped away right here would do that. There would be probably a cast shadow here. It's a small details, but what they do is they totally change the perception of how this is gonna look like. Very similar to this rock, for instance. I feel the more intense, almost like it's almost thinking, instead of thinking of a rim light, think of reflections and think of how the surface would reflect light, because that's what it really is. The highlights that you see are basically a reflection of light and nothing else. And you kind of have that here on the stairs. It could be even more emphasized in some cases, where you have a little bit more of that glow or highlight coming in here. It's basically directly under because of the reflection. And what I'm getting at is this rock right here would probably have a little more reflection like that going on. And probably this part here would be stronger than this. Than this part here because of where the rock is facing. Like this part here seems to be facing more towards the camera, but still catch a little bit of that reflection. And I would remove.
Can you show me that smudge technique that you do again? I forget about it every time, and I'm always like, damn, what is that smudge technique?
Oh, it's just a smudge tool I'm using with this brush right here, this one.
Okay. And then the smudge tool is set to something special, I think, isn't it? So it doesn't just like pull.
It has spacing.
Okay.
Once you have spacing and scattering, it's gonna basically make it feel like it's like a finger smudge or some kind of, that kind of stuff. So.
Okay.
But you can see the base idea is you put the majority of the reflections where they have to, like, where they seem to make sense. So for instance, that rock, wouldn't mind to have that here as well. And then on those plants, maybe some of them catching a little bit of that highlight. And maybe here on the ground, there's a little bit of that glow.
Yeah,
you're
so good, Maciej. You're so good, buddy.
Yeah.
You're so good.
Somebody wants to know, Maciej, are there any prerequisites for this class?
No, this is as simple as you can get. This is a class.
Genia did it.
Yeah, Genia has never painted, and she did it. So
she did a good job too.
Yeah,
she did.
So
if you have questions and you're trying to learn how to do it, you sign up for his class. You can see her succeed. That's why, that's how Learn Squared works. So you can kind of be encouraged because she's never done it before. So you can watch Maciej give her live feedback that would probably be really pertinent to what you're trying to understand as well.
Like, for instance, last thing I'm gonna mention this painting. For instance, here you would have that structure probably casting a shadow right here. So the rim light would really just be in that corner. And this would, because this would be more underlit in here too. So it's a lot of small details, but they change the perception. They change how you read the painting, and it applies to everywhere. Applies to this broken structure right here and how it's catching light from the sword. I mean, it's a beautiful painting. I like the idea. I like the shapes that are being used here. Composition works great. It feels magical. It feels like it's from like a really cool video game or something or animation. I like this character. I like shitload of things here. So
Yeah, it's really cool. It's very narrative. Yeah.
yeah,
John, what you should do maybe is also take this image and post it on Facebook and mention whoever this student
I
is that
actually
Maciej
just
talked about
messaged
it.
him.
Awesome. Yeah,
Yeah,
but you
trying
should
to get
also
him.
share it online too, just so
Okay.
people are aware of it. That'd be cool. Because
Yeah.
I think this is a new thing we're trying to do, just to include people in on this stuff, because I think it's important for people to be aware of it.
yeah,
And also just to keep their, you sign up for this class, you have it for life, and then you can,
yeah. That's
you can
David 14.
Yeah,
Yeah.
David 14.
I think a good idea
14.
would be to like make the little YouTube clips of these.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. Yeah.
That way, go back and watch.
They can watch it. But I think if anything, it's just more or less to keep people, the thing is, like I was saying, is that you sign up for these classes for life, and you can constantly learn and constantly share and constantly grow and constantly be on the platform and be a part of it, So I think that really helps, So
yeah. This kind of exercise, what I always say, and it will always help you. I get that when someone is drawing this way, right? There's a way of drawing lines, and I'm usually almost very anal about it. I hate when the lines are drawn in the wrong way, because that's the first thing you want to do. You want to learn how to draw lines to make your paintings clean, and then build up the speed of painting based on already on a good foundation, instead of just trying to catch up with the foundation on the fact that you just want to do something really fast. So I would discourage people from, and I talk about this in my class, I would discourage people from doing this, where you just like drawing like that. That's not how you draw the painting. Like when you look at here, it's like, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do this. This is good for just sketching out like super quick thumbnails, right? Like you want to just build the structure real quick. But you can see that even though I want to build the structure real quick, I'm actually doing it with like singular lines myself. I'm not doing this. It's just wasted lines, and it's making things less readable if you do it that way. You want to sort of get in a habit where you draw lines that are singular instead of just this. This is much more clean.
that's what I do.
Yeah, because you're an asshole. So when deconstructing those objects, right, and deconstructing what this is and what it's built from and all that stuff, I feel like there's few steps that being, it seems, maybe not. There's a lot of erasing going on. What I would encourage, and that's maybe a message to my students from this class, is when you post those deconstructions, it would be nice to have a step-by-step to see if you're following the process that is being taught in the class. So if you have this, you're basically starting with overlaying the idea here and overlaying this photo and finding out what are the structures, what are the geometrical figures that basically this column is built from. And once you have that set up, and it's kind of set up here, but it's more of like a repeated drawing. If anything, what I would do is I'll make like an overlay right here, and then go in and say, all right, so this, I would find where is my vanishing point, right? So I would go in with the line tool maybe and follow the lines that are already existing in this photo, and basically find out where those lines are meeting together in perspective, and find the vanishing point. I think it's going to be somewhere in the middle. It's hard to tell exactly. I mean, I'm working on a small photo, but let's say the vanishing point is right here, right? So you already have your horizon line, and from there you can start deconstructing. So for instance, we're gonna have a circle right here. It's gonna be what is it? What is that structure? Cylinder, right?
Yeah.
So you draw the cylinder right here. I'm just gonna do another one,
Your lines aren't straight, Maciej, you dick.
Fucking hell, dude. But I'll basically connect it to vanishing point, right? And then you build the cylinder out of that. So now we have a cylinder here, and you do that pretty much to everything, and you quickly realize that you have a cylinder, then you have a block right here that is basically intersecting with it, and it's probably reaching out somewhere down here, right? So you have the block that goes here, like a rectangle box that is squashed. You have another cylinder right here, and then you have a cylinder that builds the column itself, and then smaller cylinders, quite a few of them actually, right here. This is actually torus, right? So you have like different structures right here, but you can basically break down this whole thing, this whole small thing, or this whole bottom of a column into one larger cylinder too. And it's just a matter of how deep you're going to go into details. But basically the idea of breaking this down is to break down into very simple shapes so that you know what it's built from, because that will inform when you're going to start applying lighting, when you're going to start applying different perspectives. It's easier to work with simple shapes than the complicated shapes and trying to figure out if it works in perspective. So for instance, in this instance right here, I can tell you right away that the top of the column is not really in perspective because it's not following the vanishing points, right? So you would need to...
Perspective is a weird thing for people to get. It's like it takes a long time.
It takes time because it's just like, fuck. Like you have to construct everything. And 3D...
How are you making those snaps? How are you doing those? Oh, it's just with the line tool, huh? That's interesting.
Yeah. But basically, if I would just make it as a box, right? This is what it would be, pretty much.
Yeah.
So, like that would be... See, I'm getting confused when constructing it. But basically, this is the box itself. It just takes time to get into it. But it's so important because this is a foundation for pretty much everything else that you're ever gonna do. If you have a right foundation and you understand what the box, like how it's built and how it's made in how this looks in the right perspective, then you can see that. All right, I have my box right here, and from there, it tells you like based on where the lighting is, you can make the right choices of how it's gonna look. Like for instance, all right, lighting is coming somewhere from here, so I know this whole part right here gonna be in a shadow, right? So I can now like fill it in, and you can clearly see, okay, this is a shadow part, and this is a part that is catching the light, right? And from there, based on like what lighting you have, maybe there's like a little gradient that you're implementing right here, to have like a little bit of the shading. Maybe there's a bounce light that is, being reflected in that part right here. Or maybe there's a reflection coming in that is just lighting it up. And that's how you build lighting here. This part of the column down there would start catching shadows as well. Like, based on the structure itself, it would go something like that. And then this would be in the shadow too. So understanding perspective, understanding construction, and understanding all those assets, like what is it built from, deconstructing it, having an idea how geometry works in 3D or in three-dimensional space with perspective, it's an absolute foundation to pretty much anything related to art. And you can basically work with 3D and bypass this whole step. And once you get into Photoshop and you want to do some fixes, if you don't know foundation, if you don't know how this works, it's going to be problematic. So anytime you're deconstructing, sort of to get back to this, you always have to pay attention where your vanishing points are. This is your sort of like the most important part. Where is the horizon line and vanishing points? And each object of that construction has to follow the rules of where the vanishing points are. So I think we can wrap it up right here with those two.
Yeah, that's an awesome review. You guys got freaking schooled on some great knowledge. This is great, super usable. So hopefully, John, if you can do do that. It'd be cool to have like these segments, find the student and get them aware of the Twitch stream and all that kind of stuff too,
Yeah.
and keep them aware of all that stuff. So
Okay.
We're gonna end up on
let's
the
end on
right
that,
note.
dude. Look at those freaking dimples. Yeah. And people are asking for plugins in my not free plugins for my UI course. You don't need anything. You can take the whole course just using Cinema 4D in Photoshop. So, whoa, going into it. Just stay in there for an interstellar. Yeah, you don't need anything. You could just do it all using just the bare minimum. I did that on purpose because I didn't want people to feel like they had to have like all those things to do it. So it's a lot of it. It's interesting now. I'm starting to get so heavy into 3D. I think Maciej's in that same realm where
Dude,
the
that's
further you go,
that's the right place to say that ass.
that's true. That ass plug-in dough. But yeah, I think like we're getting so far into 3D that we're kind of getting away from doing all this extra like post work, instead of Photoshop cleanup. It's like the renders are getting so good, they're getting so close that it's like, it's not needed,
Yeah.
So there's different ways of approaching it. One takes a long time, the other one takes a long time. It's just a matter of your approach in it, so
Yeah, one takes
yeah.
a long time to start, but it takes away quite a lot of hassle when you want to do changes. Whereas the other one takes really short time to get into, and changes are actually a hassle. And I'm talking 3D versus 2D painting,
Yeah, absolutely. Cool, guys. Well, this is a great stream. This is a long one too.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Damn,
a lot of
Daniel.
people came in and out. A lot of cool stuff being explained. Thank you, Maciej, for answering my questions. I'm gonna go and play with Marvelous later today. I have that shot that I was showing you, so I'm excited for that, to learn that and kind of go and play with it. And
Yeah, I know what's going on here. It's the arms are
I'll bind it up.
Yeah, arms are intersecting with body, and basically the pattern basically just goes inside and creates this weird shit that we see here.
Are you able to pull it out like a
I
wedgie?
mean, let me see. Pretty sure we should be able. Do a little wedgie style.
The wedgie dough.
Yeah, there we go. That should kind of work.
Yeah. Yeah. That varsity jacket, dude.
Yeah.
Making
Yeah,
it
it's gonna
look
be
good.
difficult here. It's sort of like really nastily. It's really
Can you?
nasty.
Is that part from the T pose and then running that sim? That's probably what would fix it, right? Or no?
No, I don't think so. I mean, as soon as it starts intersecting
Yeah.
in the model, that's where it becomes problematic. So when you go back in DAZ 3D,
Yes, me. Oh man, I look good, dude. Yeah. Whoa. Wow. I like how the process. I just get a big head through the whole thing. Like I start off small and then my head just gets huge. Oh, dude, screenshot that. That's the banner for this Twitch stream.
this is the banner for the stream.
Yeah, dude, screenshot that. Tweet that shit. That's
I
amazing.
will. I will send it to John. But I think if you would be using the newer version of Michael model, I think it's Michael. It's called Michael 7, or one of those things that allow you to change the parameters of like how broad the shoulders are and all that stuff. I think there's actually a plugin in the DAZ store that allows you to change proportions of things, not just proportions in terms of scale, but also like how big is the rib cage and all that stuff. I know I have it for female characters. I think there is one for male characters that I need to purchase as well, because it will allow you. What it will allow you to do is go back here and change the proportions of shoulders. And once you get into that pose right here, is basically would eliminate this intersection that is going on here. And if I zoom in, you'll be able to see it. It's intersecting.
So
You can
good.
see like right here when I'm hovering, see how much of
Yeah.
intersection is going on there, and that's basically
Yeah.
what's causing the issue. That's exactly why it doesn't work on that model that well. So, but this head,
Yeah.
dude, go back to that frame.
Oh, hey, ladies.
Hey, ladies.
Oh, and my hands in my head too. Even better. Man, it's. I love how it's me. It looks just like me.
So
Wait, was it that
Uh,
frame? No, it was this frame.
it's like, what the?
yeah, people are joining in. They're like, "What the hell is going on here?" We're like losing watch viewers, like
People are
just dropping like flies.
unsubscribe,
Like, I'm out of here!
unsubscribe,
Ah!
unsubscribe. Yeah, what the fuck am I looking at? I'm paying for this shit. Fuck that. Subscribe, unsubscribe.
Yeah, if you can't take it, yeah, you don't want to be in here. This is a lot of silliness. So, but yeah, Daz is great. This is cool. Yeah, I mean, it's all part of a process. Somebody actually asked you too. This will be the last thing we need to jump off because I got to go do this podcast. But somebody asked you too if you're using Daz to do your Showtime stuff. I've no. This has
Yeah,
been
of
asked many.
course.
But yeah,
Of
this is
course.
actually when I was doing the Lost Boy drawings and we were sharing the stuff many years ago. Now it feels like a year ago, 2 years ago, and you were doing like, I'm doing my Showtime, look at me, and then you're like, look at this Daz 3D, and I'm like, what is that ridiculous crap, you know? And so, but yeah, you've been using that and as your placeholder to get you like,
Yeah,
halfway
you were.
there.
You know, it's funny because like up until you took, you became apprentice of my class, you were like, "What is this shit? What is this shit, dude? Like, what?" You went, and I don't blame you going on the DAS 3D site and just seeing all the cringe.
Oh,
It's
so
just
much
like,
cringe,
oh
man.
my god, what am I like? You feel dirty, outside
Yeah.
and inside, being on that site for whatever reason. It's maybe just
And in the
because of
future
some of
and
the
in the
content.
past, in all
Exactly.
dimensions, you feel dirty. Yeah. You feel like Tesseract Inception dirty. Yeah.
Yeah. but then you like load it, like once you started using it in a lesson, you were like, oh shit. Like,
Yeah,
oh
no,
shit. And
it's
now I can see you're using it. Beeple was
everywhere.
actually taking the class
Using it
too, and
crazy.
now every fucking painting he does has a character in it. So I guess that's the power of the software, even though it's cringeworthy when you see what you see on the store. And that's, understandable. It's a different market.
Yeah.
What we do as concept artists and designers is that we find those tools and make the best out of them without really, putting it up there. So we're just using it for
Yeah.
projects. I'm actually using it. I mean, I've been using DAZ like in forever. And 3D is recently just really what I do in most cases. I mean, two out of three projects that I'm working on are almost purely 3D. Right
Yeah,
now,
with like
so-
some 10% polish at the end.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, I
no,
mean,
it's sick.
one of them is not even, it's like zero Photoshop apart from adding text to explain what it is, like the name of the object or whatever that I'm doing,
Yeah.
And
No, that's cool, man.
pretty much it. So
I've been watching it closely too, and it's incredible. And I think like the cool thing about 3D is like we talked about, it takes a little bit to get it set up, but once you do, you just move a camera around and boom, you got like a million different views of what you're trying to make, and it's better than one painting. So, I don't know, like it depends on the situation, obviously. So
yeah.
yeah,
I just mentioned on
Yeah.
chat that that's you posed.
yeah, baby, that's me. I'm the one that said it was me. It's like it's awesome.
It's pretty accurate. You have
Literally.
no dick.
My head is
either,
pretty big
so
too. I have no dick, and my head's pretty big. Yeah,
Yeah.
no, it's actually big baby head. Yeah. Awesome. All right, guys. Epic stream. This is cool. We're gonna be doing more of these in the future. Maciej and I are gonna be joining. We're gonna be passing stuff back and forth and start building it up. So,
You
and
also have
literally,
a-
like this
Sorry.
this stuff is literally like, it sounds really silly and it's weird, but it's really close to how we are making the things that we do on a daily basis for client projects for major games and films and stuff. So it might seem silly, but it's completely relevant. You just have to use the tools right. So
yeah, just
Yeah.
filter through all the silliness that happens in between.
there's a lot of silliness still.
Yeah, sure, for
No,
sure.
yeah.
But that's
Just a heads
yeah. I
up,
mean,
guys, too.
this is what kind
So
of we
the-
do here. We explain the process in the way we work. We give you sort of like a hint and taste of what the classes that we produce are, and what you can expect before you even sign up for Learn Squared. You know what you expect. Okay, I've seen Ash on the streams, and I've seen Maciej and any other instructors on the stream. So now I know what I can expect. At least you get like a glimpse before you even decide to pull a trigger and pay money for what we do. And one of the reasons, so here's I think the last thing we gotta mention before we really jump off is we created the streams. We're doing Twitch. We're gonna do a lot more of it. If for whatever reason you're late to the stream and like fuck, I've missed it, well, we're gonna keep those streams free, and that's our intention. You can watch them from the archive if you subscribe. So that's the only paid part here on Twitch. If you're like fuck, I need to see it now because it's one of the most important things in my life, then by all means subscribe if that's what you want to do. But if you don't want to do that, we're gonna have all of the streams that we're doing. They're gonna end up on YouTube. I think we're posting them 3 or 4 weeks later, or something like that. And all of them gonna end up on the YouTube channel. So John, if you can, I think we should link the YouTube channel to other people that would want to see the past streams. We had some issues between Twitch and YouTube conversion. There was some bugs on the platform side that we couldn't just bypass, and it was taking forever for us to get this thing going. But now it's finally fixed, and the video is gonna end up there. So that's about that. And tomorrow, tomorrow we have an interesting thing going on. We're gonna have Dade and Ron from Pixel Squid, which is basically a baby child of
cool.
Turbo Squid. And we're gonna do some interesting parts right here. I'll
Baby
show
squid.
you. Baby squid. I'll just give you a hint of what this is, and we will talk in more details tomorrow. But I just want to show you like a little teaser, little teaser here, so you can
Just
see.
the art tip.
Yeah, just a tip. I'm just waiting for the plugin to log in. It takes a little while, but this is something you guys are gonna be excited about.
Yeah, it's super cool. Yeah, Pixel Squid and all that stuff is interesting.
Check this
If you're
out,
not like, yeah, you guys will have a good stream tomorrow.
Yeah, Jama's gonna join us tomorrow, too. So
Jama,
look at that dino.
Yeah, hell yeah. Yeah, so if you don't have like
And it's
heavy
a
3D
Photoshop
software
layer,
and
so-
all that stuff too. Yeah. Yeah, you guys be sure to jump in on that one if you guys are interested, because there's going to be a lot of interesting information there, and it's really pertinent to tools that we're going to start using quite a bit. So
Yep.
Yeah, be there. What time is it tomorrow?
What time
1
is
p.m.
my stream tomorrow? 12 or 1?
Is that one? Yeah.
Yeah, at 1. 1 p.m. Pacific Coast, Pacific time, California time, 1
There you
p.m.
go.
I don't know how it translates to the rest of the world. You can check that on Google.
Yeah, Google it. Yeah, but there you go. 1 p.m. tomorrow. Be there. Jama, Maciej, the folks from Pixel Squid, going to be dropping some rad science for you guys and some new tools and stuff to be using in your pipeline. So, yeah. Okay, guys, I got to go.
Yeah, me
Great
too.
stream today, guys. Thank you, everybody,
Awesome.
for being
yeah,
here.
that's gonna be a weekly thing now. So
Yeah.
prepare your
See you.
assholes.
Yeah, open up your bums. Open up the bums. All right. See you guys.
Yeah.
Wow.
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 No. I gotta go.
Yeah, end the stream because I just cannot stop myself.
Wow.
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 Wow. See you guys.
Wow.
Bye.
Bye.
Wow. Bye.
Wow.